Before we get started, I just want to set a couple ground rules. First and foremost, please place your phones on silent or shut them off, whatever you prefer. Secondly, if you come up on call to the public, we ask that you state your name for the record, and you will be given 3 minutes to speak. And with that said, in a minute, I'll call this meeting to order. And Judge Elias is going to lead us in the pledge. Okay, I'll call this meeting to order, and Judge Elias, please lead us in the pledge.
Thank you. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Judge. Now we'll go ahead and move on to item B, adoption of the agenda. Mr. Manager, good afternoon.
Mr. Chair and member of the board, good afternoon. There's no changes to the agenda.
Okay, at this time I'd like to entertain a motion to adopt the agenda and allow the chair to deviate it as needed.
I move to adopt the agenda as presented.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. I have a couple slips here on call to the public. Yes. First, we have Mr. David Richens. David's going first for the record because he's got to go over to the city and present as well. So thank you, David.
Chairman, thank you. Supervisors, appreciate the time. My name's Dave Richens. I'm working with Santa Cruz County and SOBI and Brenda in Emergency Management on your Community Wildfire Protection Plan. This has been going on since spring. We've worked with the fire districts in Santa Cruz County and the city of Nogales. This has not been a reactionary effort, but was set in motion well before some of the big publicity around wildfires happened in our country. So Santa Cruz County has been on top of it, and they're ready to go. This is Santa Cruz County's first wildfire plan, and we are ready to present some of the information that we put together in some open houses that we have planned for next week. On the 6th, these all start at 6 p.m. with one exception. Sonoyta Elgin will be at the Santa Cruz County Fairgrounds at 6 p.m. Patagonia on October 7th at the Patagonia High School. In Nogales, we'll be up here at the VFW post at 6 p.m. on October 8th. In Rio Rico on October 9th at 6 p.m. at Rio Rico High School. And lastly, we'll be at the the Santa Cruz Valley Community Council meeting, which is in the morning at the Tubac Community Center. That'll be on Monday, October 13th. And we're excited to show what your emergency responders have been working on. This plan really focuses on some large landscape areas of concern that your fire districts have that need some work in mitigation to reduce fuel loads and also do some ecological restoration along the way probably. But the whole plan really is reliant on your constituents doing their part. So if they live on what's called the wildland urban interface or the edge of town and you're near a place that might burn, you need to do your part. And that's removing fuels around your home. We'll have exhibits at that open house that will show you some of that. And then we'll be back here sometime after the first of the year, after the holidays, with a final plan for you to review and ratify for the public. And it's really a working document at that point. People will have an opportunity to give input at these open houses. So if there's anything that we missed with the professionals, we'd like to hear it from you. It'll be less of a focus on individual homes, but more on landscape level projects that need to be mitigated to help prevent wildfire in our communities.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you, sir.
Next, we have Greg Lucero.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. My name is Greg Lucero. I'm here today representing the Santa Cruz County Provisional Community College District, which is located at 2021 North Grand Avenue Here in Nogales, I wish to address item number 3 on your action item today, which is a discussion possible action to approve contribution agreement with South 32 Hermosa Inc. for the development of a strategic work plan. I, along with school superintendents from Nogales Unified, Santa Cruz Valley Unified, Patagonia, the county school superintendent, and Chris Young, the deputy county manager, sat on South 32's Workforce Development Executive Committee. The purpose of this committee is very simple. We're trying to develop a training and educational programs that will benefit our workforce ecosystem. The proposed strategic workforce plan, which is going to be entirely funded by South 32, will help us identify the employment needs of our business community, skill or training gaps of our workforce, and propose training programs to address both of these issues. It is a win-win scenario for everyone involved. We hope that you approve this agreement, and that will allow us to start moving forward to develop and implement a workforce development strategic plan. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr.
Thanks.
Seth. Wendy Islas. Good afternoon, Wendy.
Good afternoon, Chair Malera, Board of Supervisors. I want to say thank you for the meetings, the upcoming meetings on the wildfire planning. Really appreciate that. And I believe there's a community member getting honored today. I wanted to congratulate that person. I don't know who they are, but I wanted to share that my husband is also a Nogales High School graduate. And I also want to say thank you for recognizing the arts in Santa Cruz County as a local artist myself on the side. Moving on, I do have questions and concerns regarding the contribution agreement with South 32 for an economic development specialist position. The county has complete discretion to not enter this agreement. I believe the county should take charge of our own direction and destiny without funding from South 32 in this matter. You are approving South 32 to receive reports within 14 days of their written request regarding progress, outcomes of the objectives, performance and activities of economic development position, and information related to budget, cost overruns, and use of funds. At what point does a conflict of interest exist? Just because you can accept money doesn't always mean you should. Let's have the foresight and fortitude to move forward in budgeting for this position on our own. And knowing the county has already engaged in talks for this action, my recommendations are as follows. I request that we revise the 2020 MOU with South 32. Many facets of the document needs revised, including the recitals, which did not include possible manganese and possible copper mining. I also request public input and a revision of this document. I also request we pause this contribution agreement until such time that the community has had an opportunity to review the community protections and benefits agreements, which we're still waiting for. In the absence of a pause, I request that the clause granting South 32 reports be omitted from the agreement. If the agreement remains therein, please provide the community these same reports by posting them on the county's website. I guess my concern is, why does South 32 have to have strings attached if they're going to provide funding? Then provide the funding without strings. I also recommend we move forward with this position within our own county budget. The Board of Supervisors approved and the county budgeted for the needed and new second deputy county manager position in October 2024 at $112,000 per year. An assistant to the county manager position was also created. I'm not sure if that has been filled yet. We have also created and filled various consultant and contractor positions, so we know we can fund this position. We also know that most counties, if not many, but most counties have a similar position, and I'm pretty sure they're not paid for by a corporation. I want to say that most of us support smart and selective economic growth and a strong workforce. Lastly, most importantly, in regards to the CPBA, I'd like to reiterate no one can reap any benefits if there are not adequate protections in place. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Wendy.
Mr. Richard Nash.
Fast. Hi.
How you doing, sir?
I'm good. How are you? Thank you
Good.
for listening to me here. I'm Richard Nash. I'm a fourth generation owner of Circle Z Ranch up in Patagonia. I would just like to talk a little bit about kind of our local business ecology in the Patagonia area on the east side. Circle Z Ranch has been around for 100 years now. This is our 100th year. And since then, a lot of new industry has come into the Patagonia area, specifically around restoration, many based on tourism, birding, and now, of course, the gravel biking that is gaining so much traction. We contribute a lot of jobs to the economy. We contribute a lot of tax revenue in Santa Cruz County, and I think that for our piece, we need to be consulted on a deeper level going forward with specifically the CPBA or any other talks that are happening with South 32, because in order for us to have employees, in order for us to have tourists and guests specifically coming to our ranch, but also for the other recreation opportunities, the other conservation job opportunities, we need to have clean air. We need to have water for trees. We need to have safety on our roads. And not to mention a loss to a tourism economy if we see, massive trucking and things like that. I was a part of a meeting regarding the CPBA on Monday that was an invite-only focus group, which is really interesting to me. And I think it was a message I was hearing come from everyone else, that there's not a lot of trust with Acorn specifically, and there's not a lot of trust with the county. A lot of what came back to us felt like, we have funding to give you, but there are no real protections. And I think that's what we need to be looking at, specifically as it relates to our economy. So when we're doing economic development or anything like that, we need to be considering how our health and our safety factor into that. And that has to be number one priority, in my opinion. Just to address the Acorn issue at this point, I feel that I have reason to believe that there's a lack of transparency on both sides, and that information that's going through Acorn is not accurate all the time, or not as nuanced or in depth as it's being communicated. And I would like to see some other pathways for us as local business owners and members of this economy to have more input directly with you all. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
I think there's one other.
Anyone else wishing to come up? Yes, sir. Absolutely. Please state your name for the record, sir.
Absolutely, sir. Good evening, gentlemen, ma'am.
Good evening.
My name is Mike Humphreys. I'm a retired United States Marine. And talking with several other of my fellow veterans, retired as well, in the community, Santa Cruz County, the taxation is getting out of control. So I want to read y'all something. And I don't want anything that I say to be construed as a threat, as it's not. But things are getting to that point when you start pricing veterans out of the homes, out of the land that we fought and bled for. I did 5 tours in Iraq. I've been blown up 3 times and shot in the chest. In fact, I just had a neck surgery with 4 discs removed and replaced. My love for my country, undeniable. But I need to read this to y'all. It's called The Man That Wanted to Be Left Alone. The most terrifying force of death comes from the hands of men who wanted to be left alone. They try so very hard to mind their own business and provide for themselves and those they love. They resist every impulse to fight back, knowing the forced and permanent change of life that will come from it. They know that the moment that they fight back, their lives, as they have lived them, are over. The moment the men who wanted to be left alone are forced to fight back, it is a form of suicide. They are literally killing off who they used to be, which is why, when forced to take up violence, these men who wanted to be left alone fight with an unholy vengeance against those who murdered their former selves. The fight with raw hate and a drive that cannot be fathomed by those who are merely play acting at politics and terror. True terror will arrive at these people's door, when they cry, scream, and beg for mercy, it will fall upon deaf ears of the men who just wanted to be left alone. A lot of us veterans, the war is done with us, and we want to be done with it. We don't want to have to take up arms. But if you start forcing us out of our homes that we earned, that we fought, that we worked so hard for, you're going to leave us no choice. Now, like I said, none of this is a threat. Yet, Liz Gutfar stole $41 million plus, and then we had a theft at the county attorney's office of our taxpayer dollars. This is taxation without representation. And all of us are pretty much educated to know what happened the last time we had taxation without representation. We kicked England's butt back across the pond. This is taxation without representation. We're tired of funding the illegals that come over here to our schools. Liz Gutfar stole from our schools and our fire department. That woman should never get out of prison. But y'all are forcing us taxpayers to come up with the shortcomings because y'all aren't getting it from her. She's going to get out of prison 6, 10 years and be a millionaire down in Mexico. And we, as Santa Cruz County residents, are left holding the bill. Now, I'm not the brightest crayon in the box. I'm a machine gunner by trade. But I'm not stupid either. And what I see on this tax bill does not reflect what we should be paying. This is ridiculous. I thank you all for your time. I thank you all for your patience. Simplify.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
There was one other
Say,
person.
hey, sir, take your time to visit the assessor's office, because there is a process. Uh-huh, okay, cool. Thank you, sir.
Sir, where do you live?
1872 Ace of Court. I'm about 500 meters from the fire department there on Mosquito.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Good afternoon, good evening, Supervisors.
Good evening.
Thank you for listening to me. Jerry Navarro from Rio Rico. What he said is very true. My taxes on my home has gone up exponentially. And I know they've told me that there's a law that says that they can go up, 5% every year. And you've done it for the last 10 years. I'm saying you, I'm talking about the assessor. And yet they tell me that they can't stop. That is because it's a law. Well, I think that law says you may, not shall. We need to visit this. And why are we paying so much in taxes? What's going on here? The other thing is I see that under your consent agenda, under item, let me get my glasses on here. Item 6, A, B, and C. Looks like you're giving money to the schools. Well, if I recall right, when I get my tax bill for my house, the school's on there. Why are we in the county paying stuff for the school when they already have their own taxes? What is this, a double pay or something? Something's not right here. We need to start looking into what you guys are doing because this is not right. The schools should be paying for their own things and the county should not have to pay for anything on the schools, period. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else wishing to come up? Yes, ma'am.
My name is Emily Monomog. I live in Rio Rico. I just have a question about action items 3 and 4 as well. I'll agree with some of the people that have already spoken. It just, to me, the transparency, I don't remember hearing about this. Maybe it's the first time. I don't know if there was a discussion about it. But again, transparency is an issue. And I'm wondering who is kind of advising the supervisors in terms of with South 32? Do we have somebody that's talking for you, or is it all just they have the lawyers, they have everybody on their side, and who do we have on ours is kind of my question. So it's just a transparency thing, I think, and a trust issue along with it, where people just feel like things are happening and we don't know, and we're like, wait, what's that coming from? So just so you know, there are people that feel that way.
My apologies. What is your name?
Emily Modelmag. Sorry, I didn't write a slip out. Sorry.
Thank you. Anyone else? Yes, sir.
Evening Supervisors, I'll be quick too. My name's Jay Thompson, I'm from Rio Rico, and I will also like to comment on the items 3 and 4 there too. The only ask that we would like to have, and again, just to be more transparent and open with everybody else, is just whenever you end up coming up with whatever the planners are or whoever you're looking at hiring as a specialist and stuff, please put it out for bid. Put out a list as to what it is you're looking for. There's a lot of people in this county that have a lot of good relationships and stuff, and we need to get good young people engaged in this whole process. And then also, whenever it comes to contract time, we ask that they end up, again, putting out for bid, have it looked at by public bid too, and then also make sure that there are the requirements for showing background and what their capabilities are, as well as statement of work and everything else that goes with that. We just need to be a lot more professional the way we do business in this county. There's a lot of people here to help, and all you need to do is ask, but more so be transparent. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chair.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Okay, we'll go ahead and move on to item D, current events. Mr. Davis, good morning. Good afternoon, I'm sorry.
Good afternoon.
That's out of habit.
So I wrote out some of the stuff I did so I wouldn't forget like last time. So first of all, I would like to extend my heartfelt congratulations to John Fanning. Supervisor Fanning was recently inducted into the Santa Cruz Valley Unified School District number 35. It was Mr. Fanning and 2 other people and the school band, so I was able to attend with my family. It was a really nice event, so congratulations.
Thank you.
Supervisor Fanning. Also, this is the 3rd week that I go and visit the Santa Cruz County Provisional Community College. I've been talking to students how we collect and distribute the property taxes. And yesterday I got to spoke to a group of students from a class from Mr. Medina. I want to thank Mr. Chavez because he went with me and explained all that information. After that, they also asked me about some meetup projects they're working on. So I was able to, they invited me for that, but I took the chance to talk about property taxes as well. I would like to thank the Nogales Police Department for this ride along. I was able to go on Friday, me and Mr. Chavez. I thought we were going to go together, but they put us in different cars. So I would like to thank Chief Jimenez, Officer Grijalva, and everybody overall. It was a really good experience to go and do this ride along in Nogales area, District 1. Also, I was invited to go to the 4-H Club presentation at Pearson. It was a really nice event. I got to talk to students. They presented, so I got to see how the 4-H Club, they're doing great work. Norma Ruiz, she got recognized as well. So the students at Sonoita, Rio Rico, Nogales, and Nogales, Mexico, the students are really, really good job in the different projects they're working on. That's my update.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
Vice Chairman,
Good evening.
newly inducted into the Santa Cruz Valley Hall of Fame,
Thank you. Yes.
man of many titles. We're super proud of you.
Thank you. Thank you. Been doing a lot of things over the last couple of weeks. We went up to the CSA, County Supervisor Association, and we had an opportunity to go through a new supervisor check-in since myself and Supervisor Davis are new to the position. So we had an opportunity to discuss the challenges, the things that have been going well, our thoughts, and so I was very happy to hear that what I feel, whether it be positive or a challenge, is what is normal. We continue, although I wasn't at the last border wall meeting, we continue to have a border wall meeting with Fisher and with CBP. Deputy County Manager Chris Young was there. We continue to talk with the folks that it directly affects, and when they submit questions, we try to ask those questions and get those answered. And to this point, they've done a very good job. On the Friday that rained, and I hope we have good news today, Alan, based on last week and the couple weeks we've had with rain. I had an opportunity to meet with the folks out of Duquesne. Very informational meeting. It was a great meeting, great, beautiful area out there. I would highly recommend if you have a chance to go out the Duquesne, do so. I've talked a lot about water with Dr. Megdahl, Rural Water Working Group, Michael Oldfield Group. Continue to talk about the water situation throughout the state. CPBA, I will continue, I have and will continue to push for transparency. And I will also let people know that we are aligning ourselves with Patagonia, the town of Patagonia, and focusing heavily on monitoring and protections. So I will continue to push for those things, as I am part of that. Myself and Deputy County Manager Chris Young, we're all on the same page, so I hear you loud and clear. Saw a movie at the Oasis Theater. It was called Don't Look Away, or Can't Look Away. I highly suggest anyone who has a child, or anyone who has anyone up to 20 years old, or a grandchild, I highly suggest, once again, Can't Look Away. It's what social media, the impact it has on people, taking their lives. I have 3 sons, we have 3 sons, 29, 26, 23, and I'm going to find the time to show it to them. I'm not saying that social media is evil, although I am saying that you have to look at the algorithms, and Can't Look Away is an incredibly powerful video. Try to find that. Did meet with the NACO Human Services and Education. We continue to take a look at what's happening throughout the country with human services. My focus is primarily education because that's my field. We'll continue to talk on behalf of education. We did have a couple meetings, Monday I believe it was. One of those meetings, I did meet with a constituent today. We talked about Viteri lots, and we had a good discussion on that Monday. We are going to bring it either, I would assume, in November as a study session, and I would highly recommend anyone who has any, I know that there's a couple people in here who are adjacent to Viteri lots. Highly recommend that when that does come out, you know, my suggestion is reach out to Shannon Hall, who can let you know about our newsletter that goes out, and all that information will be there. But it's very important, especially those 550 people who reached out and that were interested in that. And thank you so much, Treasurer Alejandro Paz, for being part of that meeting. Thank you to Dave Richens. I don't think he's here right now, but the person that got up, he met with each one of the supervisors individually. We talked about wildfire, and that's part of what I would like to see connected with the CPBA in the area of emergency management. So as we move forward, I'm going to be pushing for that. I want to thank Leonard and his crew for continued the road work that they're doing, the ride out to Duquesne once you got up and over the mountain, beautiful roads, thank you. And also one of his workers, Tomas, I'm sorry, I'm just singling out one because he has a great team. Tomas is doing some great work out there, you know, right in the middle of the sun, and I want to thank him. And then this weekend I have the opportunity to go to Hermosillo to work volunteer with children with cleft palates, so I'm excited about that, and I would highly recommend anyone who has an opportunity to help those that are in need to do so. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. And once again, congratulations. We are very proud. I will try and be brief. And all of us attended CSA, our county government supervisors association meeting, the small counties Wednesday evening, and then the following day, the full board meeting. I want to go ahead and congratulate our elections director, her staff, all the volunteers, everyone that worked through the elections, along with our recorder, Ms. Moreno. Thank you. You guys did an excellent job. As always, it was flawless. We appreciate what you did. Thank you for your hard work. I also attended the Santa Cruz Valley Hall of Fame. Congratulations. All three of us met with the Consul General, Marcos Moreno Baez. He basically sat with us and explained the budget, what their purpose is, and it was just nice to sit down. We'd like him to come and do that presentation in a study session. He gladly said he will come and schedule it at a certain point in time. Again, David, thank you for meeting with us for the wildfire protection plan. And Public Works was super busy last week. We got an incredible amount of rain in a matter of 3-4 days. They were out till 2-3 o'clock in the morning, went to bed, came back at 5 in the morning, and they've been nonstop. They're still working out there. Leonard, thank you guys for us. They did an amazing job and still continue to. We appreciate what they do. And lastly, this morning, Shannon Hall, Natalia Flores, and Chris Young and I went up to Phoenix for a fishing training. Before COVID, we used to host a fishing event for our youth, and it was a great event. Arizona Game and Fish would come down and do it all for you. But now, they're lacking funds, so we had to go up there. They trained us, and we're going to do the events here locally, and excited to have them. And that is all I have. And once again, I also want to go ahead and push that movie, Can't Look Back. It's Can't Look Away. It's amazing. It's an eye-opener. As former educators, we feel it's really critical that you talk to your children and grandchildren and try and watch this film. And that's all I have.
Say one more thing.
Yes, sir.
I know
Go
I've
ahead.
talked at length, but I also want to thank Alma, Tavita, Ivana, Nikki, Denitza. We actually had 20 students from either Rio Rico or Nogales High School who are also poll workers. So to all of our volunteer poll workers and to your team, my hat's off to you.
Thank you, sir. We'll go ahead and move on to item E, reports and activities. Number 1, finance, cash, and investments, expenditures, and revenue reports. Mr. Chavez, good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman, members of the board, members of the public. The cash and investment report, the general fund has an overall balance of $16,978,548 with an investment amount of $16,443,877. The road fund has an overall balance of $5,909,940 with an investment amount of $5,086,150. Flood Control District Fund has an overall balance of $2,356,741 with an investment amount of $306,528. In our Jail District Fund, that's an overall balance of $6,028,174 with an investment amount of $4,368,804. Total for all funds, overall balance is $53,311,741 with an investment amount of $28,311,229. So we have an estimated end of the month balance of $5,364,838. with $838. No.
Thank you, sir.
Mr. Chairman, members of the board, I do want to make a comment on, and touch a little bit and inform the board and the members of the public of what transpired today with the federal government. As you know, and as expected, Congress failed to pass the annual appropriation bills that fund federal agencies for the upcoming fiscal year. So essentially, that's a federal government shutdown, okay, at 12:01. The last shutdown that we had was in 2019. This forces the temporary closure of reduction of non-essential government services and affected federal employees and those who rely on government-funded programs. Federal grant programs awarded to the county may be temporarily interrupted during the shutdown, and a reimbursement request would be put on hold. Federal government shutdowns have a wide range of effects, the severity of which can depend on shutdown's length and how the Office of Management and Budget directs the agencies to operate or not operate during the shutdown. So every granting agency has its own plan for shutdowns, and we're reaching out to all county-affected agencies for guidance and clarity. For now, the county does not anticipate stopping any grant programs. However, I recommend we place a hiring freeze on any new federally funded positions request and hold off on any large expenditure contracts until we can either verify the specific granting agency is not affected or the federal government shutdown ends. We are committed in supporting the grant-funded programs in our community through this period of uncertainty, and we will continue to monitor the developments closely and provide updates as they become available.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
I hope they come to a quick resolution. Okay, item 2. Any other departments wishing to come up?
Yes, good evening, Supervisors, Chairman Molera, County Management, members of the board. I am Saida Bustamante, Director for Arizona Network, WIOA, and I'm here to provide updates and to invite everybody, members of the public, to our job fair. It's upcoming October 15th. It will be held at the Nogales High School Gymnasium. We have about 80 employers and community organizations that will be in attendance, that are going to be hiring on the spot, interviewing on the spot as well. There are going to be schools in attendance as well. And we're excited. There's more than 50 employers who have signed up. Every industries are logistics, federal, state, local government. We have schools, there is retail, restaurants, hospitality that will be in attendance, and of course our community organizations. We're excited about having this event, especially in these times. So we ask of everyone to share the word, and we are excited to have you all there.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for all your hard work.
Mr. Chairman, one additional comment based on that side, just to make sure that folks are going to be there to go interview for the job fair, to dress for success, dress like you're going to be at an interview, dress appropriately with a suit, and be prepared to hand in your resumes and be ready for an interview.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Agreed. 80 employers. That's amazing.
So we have, and essentially community organizations are also employers. So yes, 80 plus community organizations and employers. And yes, it's very important. Dress for success. The first image is everything for the employers. And we ask if people in the community don't have the resources to come to us. And we have suits available. We have shirts. We have clothing for women. And that's something that we can help with as well.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Fontes.
Good afternoon. Mr. Chairman, members of the board. Just a quick update on our projects. Our 3 ADOT projects, the first one, the I-19 Ruby Road to Rio Rico Drive, East and West Frontage Road. We had our second project meeting last month. We've kind of finalized the configurations of the north ends of the frontage roads at Rio Rico Drive. The consultant will move forward. They'll be putting together some preliminary plans so we can start sharing with all the stakeholders. On the Rio Rico Drive, or the Ruby Road project, the bridge project over Potrero Creek, Union Pacific Railroad, we had our first kickoff meeting last month also. The consultant will start picking up where we left off with their plans. We had left off with approximately 30 to 40% design plans. They'll move forward and start finalizing. I think it'll be about a year before we finish the design, and then we'll move forward to the construction, which is slated for 2027. The Babo Kamari Bridge project in Elgin, the kickoff meeting is in 2 weeks, so we'll get that project going also. On the flood control district side, our consultants have finalized the preliminary design for the basins. We met with AZDEMA last week. We're moving forward with the design, and again, that design will probably take about a year, and then we'll move forward to the construction phase on that. And the other thing that I just wanted to just make a just clarification of a statement. At a couple of board meetings ago, the statement was made that the project cost for the Ruby Road Bridge over the Potato Creek, that the cost could conceivably double. Just a clarification that I think it was taken out of context. It's a valid statement, and the intent of that statement came from ADOT, and they were just basically forewarning everybody that there has been project escalation. And the magnitude may not be that severe. It depends on the complexity of the project, the location, the age of the plans, a lot of factors, labor, materials. But on our project, the cost estimates that we have are fairly new. They're current. They're based on current cost projections. ADOT and ourselves continue to monitor not only that project, but all our other projects to make sure that all these projects can be done within budget and, they're completed successfully. So just wanted to pass that information on.
Thank you, sir. Any questions?
Yeah, Leonard, once again, I want to say, excuse me, thank you to you and your team. And if you would reach out to Tomas and let him know that, what he's doing out there, filling in some of those gaps and so forth, is very much appreciated. The bridge at Elgin, has there been or will there be public comment?
ADOT is administering those projects, and one
Right.
of the requirements is that we have public participation. And part of the scope when we met with ADOT is that we knew that there were some issues out there with especially with one of the adjacent landowners. And, we built in some provisions to have some historical and some archaeological considerations, but we also emphasized that we needed to have, once we get to a point where we have some concepts, we want to engage all the stakeholder area residents and stuff like that so we can move forward and make sure that we address all the concerns of the community.
Excellent.
Okay.
Thank you so much, sir.
Anyone, any other? There we go. Mr. Paz, how are you, sir?
I'm good, thank you. Good afternoon, Mr. Chair, members of the board, and members of the public. Just a few updates. One, just wanted to share that we've started some discussions around those parcels that are unpaid, have back taxes for many, many years, and where we have people interested in possibly obtaining those parcels. However, the taxes owed are larger than what the property is actually valued at. So we've initiated those conversations. We're looking into it. There's quite a bit of statute that goes into play with this, so we're definitely making sure that we cross all our T's and dot all our I's. But we are getting at least initiated with coming up with a list of parcels that we can identify in this situation so that we can identify what our next steps will be. So we'll bring those up because there will be a process eventually that they will need to be presented to the board for approval as well. So we can share more details once we get into more in-depth conversations about those. The other update is that on Monday, when we finally received our tax copies that are to be sent to the Arizona Department of Revenue, they get a sample, not the full 80,000 tax parcels or tax statements that we generate through our print vendors. We identified 230 bad actors of those tax statements, so we are working with our consultants and the print vendor again to reissue new statements for those 230 bad actors. The situation really is still being worked out as to how it occurred, but the total amount due on all of the tax bills are correct. It's the OCR line at the bottom where it breaks down your first installment and your second installment payments. That is also correct. But in the first installment section or second installment where it actually lists out the figure, that is not matching the OCR, and the totals would not match the total amount due. So we want to make sure that they have the correct bill. So we are reaching out to those that were identified as the bad actors, but we're also going to make sure to send them a new statement for them to receive with the correct information on it. Any questions?
Questions, gentlemen?
No, I just want to say thank you. You were part of two meetings that I was in this week, and your guidance, your expertise is very much appreciated. And I know there's quite a few constituents that I've talked to, and they're very much interested in both, the back taxes, what's happening with the back taxes, and the Viteri. So I want to say thank you, and it's probably going to be a long process, but the process has started, and hopefully it gains steam. So thank you.
My pleasure. Any others?
And one other item, I believe, the two gentlemen were talking about the tax increases. In 2012, Proposition 117 was voter approved for a 5% increase, I believe. Is that what it was, Mr. Ramos? Yes,
Yeah.
please. Thank you, sir.
Yes. In 2012, there was a voter-approved Proposition 117, which limits the increase in LPV value, which is the limited property value, which is the number that's taxed, and that was approved in 2012. It can go up. I had spoken to Mr. Navarro before, and I explained to him that it can go up to 5% or more. It all depends what your full cash value is. So we got to take into consideration what the full cash value is to see if it's 5% less or more. So it's pretty much in the statute. I have the statute number. If anybody wants to go into my office, I'll be more than happy to explain the 5% rule.
Thank you, sir.
And the assessors have not set the tax rates or the tax bills. We just value the property.
Thank you.
Mr. Ramos, since you're here, I got a quick question. I mean, is there something that we can do, like, to communicate that with the public, like, when they think, like, they feel like their tax rates are going up, and even though we decrease, like, 3 cents, right? So to clarify that, like, can we do something about it?
The thing is that it's two things, the value and the tax rates. Us at the assessors, we do not set the tax rates. We have no control over the taxing authorities, board, flood control, school districts, community college, fire district, bonds, overrides. We set the value. So at our end, what we can do, we can explain the valuation, and we have to value property according to market. We do a sale ratio studies every year based on the sales of properties in the areas in the county, and we set a value. From that value, we have the full cash value. Then we have the limited property value, which is the value that's taxed. That's the one that's set by statute. That one, we have no control if it goes up 5% or more. It all depends if your full cash value goes up more than 15% on a new construction, then your LPV can go more than 5%.
Mr. Chair, it's not an item that's on our agenda.
Okay.
So we could probably list it at some point in the future.
We'll have
meeting.
why don't we have a study session on it? Okay?
We'll send them along your
Yeah.
way.
Okay?
Thank you.
Sounds
Thank
good.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Can I go?
Yes, sir. Thank you. Thank you for your report. Ms. Donnelly. Good afternoon.
Evening, Chairman Moleta, Supervisors Davis, Mr. Fanning, Supervisor Fanning, County Management, members of the public. I have a bit of unfortunate news in my update this evening. Last meeting, I was mentioning about the Gear Up grant. We did receive notice on the 30th that we were not awarded a new round of Gear Up, and so our 7 years officially ended yesterday, September 30th. We are in a no-cost extension where we were able to keep 2 employees that will keep the hub at the community college going, and then assist with data collection and the financial reporting that's required. But I think everybody is familiar with Gear Up and the impact that that program makes in our community. We won't stop applying. The funds were appropriated by Congress for this program. There were 146 applications and 35 awards for partnership grants. So you can see it's a highly competitive program. We'll keep trying because it's an amazing service for middle school and high school and our community. That is the unfortunate news. The better news is it's October, it's Arts Month. Our office, in partnership with schools and arts organizations, community organizations, has put out the October Arts Month calendar of events and activities. You can see that our community is very vibrant, has tons of offerings in the arts. This is just the month of October and November 1st. Our office is committed to continuing this calendar. We're going to be partnering with the Morley Arts District to keep this event calendar going on their website year-round. to share all of this information. The one particular event that our office is hosting is on November 1st. It's going to be in the 1904 courthouse, where a student art exhibit will be hung. We'll also have multimedia breakout sessions, workshops. We'll have the Art Ambassador Awards, and that is when we will make public the mural map that will be shared with the community in partnership with the chamber. I think it'll be a really nice event. So I will leave copies of this calendar at the back of the room for community members to share. Any questions?
Thank you. Any questions, gentlemen?
Yeah, Stu, it saddens me about Gear Up. I was
No.
I believe I was part of that first round when I was an administrator,
Uh-huh.
and I know how much it affects in a positive way our students. And I know that when we went to DC, and we asked our congressional delegates, you know, we gave them the percentages that were provided to us about the
Mhm.
students who went on after high school, may not have been junior college or college, could have been trade school, could have been armed forces.
Right.
But there was a big percentage that I truly believe had a big impact. And second of all, is this information, is Shannon, do you have this?
I will share with
Yeah,
Shannon.
please do, so we can get this out to the community.
I definitely will.
This is
And
fantastic.
just an important note, and what's a real disappointment, is there were no Gear Up Awards made in the state of Arizona. So the three universities, we were really one of the only partnerships, especially in southern Arizona, but no awards in Arizona. So,
Sorry to hear.
yes, thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, I was informed by one of our congressional staff members that even Pima College lost their funding as well from their Gear Up program. So, yeah, let's keep trying. Thank you.
Mr. Chair, one more thing to add. If somebody from the public currently wants to have a conversation after the meeting with myself or Mauricio or Chris Young, we're welcome that, so that we could keep the momentum going. Thank
Okay. Just a quick introduction. I think Mr. Davis wants to introduce some people who just walked in.
What do you mean introduce? Bring them here?
Introduce your wife and kids.
Leon. So, vengan. We're gonna do.
We welcome you too.
We're gonna
Ana.
do the opposite that what Ms. Valdez said, but ven. No. Well, thanks for coming. Yeah, that's my family.
Okay, we'll go ahead and move on. Item 3 is awards. This board has done an amazing job of recognizing our great talent that our schools. You know, it's just amazing what great kids we've had over the past. You know, there's some sitting here in this boardroom that I personally had as students, and we all had as students. It's my honor to introduce Eduardo Herrera. He graduated from Boston University and Nogales High School alumni.
First off, I wanted to thank everyone. Thank you for having me here, and the Board of Supervisors for this recognition. I truly appreciate it. And to begin my speech, I'll be giving you guys a little bit of my background so you can understand a little bit more of who I am. So I grew up in Nogales my whole life. I graduated from Nogales High School, and I recently graduated with a degree in International Relations and Business Administration from Boston University. I'm currently studying for my LSAT here in Nogales. The LSAT is an entry exam to law school, leaning towards being an immigration lawyer. So I've been looking at schools like the U of A, the ASU, Texas University, Texas A&M, Boston College, and Boston University. And besides that, I've been working with a nonprofit, non-political organization called Aspiring Latino Lawyers, where our goal is really to provide guidance for anybody that's interested in studying in the field of law. Our goal is to provide a networking system within the community and also be able to provide resources, whether that be study material, anything that can help them out with applications or their resume, etc. Our main focus is on the university level. However, we were able to expand into high schools in Tucson. So my idea was to bring it here to Nogales High School and to Rio Rico High School, where the majority of our student population is Hispanic and Latino. We have a charter at the U of A, the ASU, GCU. We're working with Michigan. We have one in Oregon, and we've been working with a university in East California. We're a 501c3 organization, which means that all of the donations we receive are tax incentive, and that's kind of how we receive most of our funding, but we also conduct a lot of fundraisers to be able to provide for the organization. And that's how we've also been able to expand over here to Nogales and Rio Rico. But yeah, thank you for the recognition and for your time. That's basically it.
Yeah. Eduardo, if you can stay up there, please. We have a certificate, and we also have a challenge coin. This challenge coin is to challenge you to continue to succeed, and the certificate reads, Certificate of Recognition presented to Eduardo Herrera as a distinguished graduate of Boston University and an esteemed alumnus of Nogales High School. Your dedication, perseverance, and commitment to excellence serve as an inspiration to our community and future generations. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Congrats. Keep up the great work.
Felicidades, María, también a su mamá. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Congratulations, family.
Okay, we'll go ahead and move on to our study session. Item 1, Medicaid cuts to our community by Amy Taylor, Mariposa Community Health Center. And Dr. Pereira. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you so much for being here.
Yeah, thank you. And congratulations to Dr. Pereira on his recent award.
And
Recognition.
what award was that, Dr. Pereira? Chris, were you part of that?
Thank you for letting me speak towards that. I know Dr. Pereira won't talk about it because he's very humble, but Dr. Pereira just was awarded the Santa Cruz Community Foundation Civic Leadership Award for 2025. It's the Roberto Bracker Award, and it was an easy choice for us, for him to win it. Everybody knows what he does for our community. He has provided and expanded healthcare in our community for decades. I won't say how long, but for a very long time. I mean, everybody has a story about Dr. Pereira and how much he cares about this community and the people. And so it was an easy choice for us to choose him. And he had some amazing words that he shared with the community. And it's just an honor to have him in our community and continue to lead the Mariposa Community Health Center. And he's just been a pillar for us. We talked a little bit about what he did during COVID. Obviously, the county was part of that, but his leadership, and I don't think any of the school districts are here, but I was able to be part of this, of his leadership, where every week we had a meeting with the leaders of the school districts, and Dr. Pereira and Dr. Williams and Mariposa Clinic were the ones that gave us the updates and told us everything was going to be okay and made us feel like, okay, we're going to get through this. And what I had mentioned when I spoke about and introduced them is that's where you find the character of people, is when it gets tough. And nobody was tougher than Dr. Pereira during that time. So congratulations, Dr. Pereira.
Good evening, Mr. Chair, board members, and members of the community. My name is Amy Taylor, and I'm the CEO for Mariposa Community Health Center, and we were invited to come and talk to you about Medicare and Medicaid changes, and we appreciate the invitation.
Thank you very much. I was not expecting that, but I accepted the recognition with humility and just a pleasure to be here. Love what I do, and thank you for asking us to be here today. So I'll do the initial part of the presentation, Mr. Chairman, Board, and Santa Cruz County Manager. We were asked to present on the changes that are coming up in terms of Medicare, Medicaid. Amy is just an expert on that, so I'm going to let her touch on that. I'll talk a little bit about my Mariposa, if I may. You know, and for a long time, we work really on culture. We want to establish who we are, and these are the beliefs that guide most of our decisions, if not all the decisions we make. And I wanted to share that with you because it's really important for us to have a good culture. And I think we know what culture is. Culture is about the experiences we want to create for people, the beliefs that are created from those experiences, the actions we take, and the results we get. And those are the 4 pillars of our culture: wellness, both physical and mental, compassion for everyone, connection, listening, trusting, and the impact we make. And so this is what drives all our decisions. I want to make sure that you have that. Oh, there we go. And sorry about that. Yeah, Mariposa began a long time ago, around 1980. Some of you may see this house. It's still there, La Castellana Drive. Now it belongs to the training school. It began in 1980. It was part of the health department then. It became a separate entity in December of '85. Our initial beginnings were to provide well-child visits and preventive care. And over time, it changed to provide adult care. I came in 1986 with Dr. Helmon Civais, and we began doing adult care. He is a family medicine doctor. I'm an internal medicine doctor. And we began the journey. In December of '85, we began really doing other things that you have seen. And over the years, we continue to grow to keep the care local. We do primary care. We do x-ray, we do mammography, and I'll touch on that in just a moment. This is what we're today. We're a federally qualified health center. We have about 30,000 patients, 500 employees. We contribute $250 million to the local economy every 5 years. And that's a very significant source of employment and economic growth. About a third of our patients are children, about 2/3 are adults, and 87 Hispanics. We have 6 locations. Soon 7, where Dr. Guevara used to be. We're going to have a women's clinic. As we can see, about 30 of our patients are covered under Medicare, 21% are covered under Medicare. We have expanded services over the years. People know what Mariposa does mostly on the medical, pediatrics, adult medicine, OB/GYN, and geriatrics. But we also do dental. Some people don't know that. We have dentists on staff. We do behavioral health, both therapy and psychiatry. We prescribe medications. We have our own pharmacy. We do prescriptions. We do clinical pharmacy. We do x-rays, ultrasound, bone density testing. We do nutrition. And of course, we have a large department of community health that's led by Patty Molina. Many of you know Patty from all the work she's done in the community. And this is where Amy is. She's the expert on all these changes that are coming up, and we'd like to present how we're getting ready to manage those so that the impact would be minimal on our patients. Amy? Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Pereira. And I by no means count myself as an expert. I am somebody who studies this and is very interested in making sure that Mariposa adapts to these changes. And I'd like to start with saying we are a non-political organization. I think that's very important. We are just studying the changes that are coming out of the One Big Beautiful Bill because they impact us just like they impact everybody. But I'd like to start with a little quiz for our supervisors. Uh-oh. Tables are turned. You all used to be educators, right? So can you tell me what is Medicaid? All right. Mr. Chair?
Medicaid is additional help to a Medicare qualified person. It can be full Medicaid, which pays for all your health Part B and your prescription drugs. Or it can just be partial, where it pays just your Part B, just your medication. There's different qualifications, I believe.
Okay. Anybody else want to take a stab at that? No? Okay. Medicaid is for low-income people. So it's not about age, it's about income. And it can cover children, it can cover adults, and our senior population can also have Medicaid. So next question, though, is what is Medicare? Take a stab at it?
That's, go ahead. Bugs.
Go ahead.
Where Medicaid is based on income or monetary based,
Yep.
this is based on age. And I'm getting close.
You're getting close? What's that magic age number?
65.
65.
And it's not necessarily age. You qualify if you're
Disabled. Exactly.
as well.
Yes. Yes. Dialysis. Yep. And so I ask these questions because I think as we talk about this, so many people struggle with the difference between Medicaid and Medicare. I like to think of aid as we're aiding populations, and care, we all believe in caring for our senior population, right? So the last question I have for you are, what are marketplace insurance plans? This might be a little trickier.
Isn't it a place where you can go and try to buy your insurance?
Perfect. Yeah. Yeah. Good job. Very well done, supervisors. Very proud of you all. This is
Did
great.
we pass?
You passed. All gold stars tonight. Yes. Okay. So these slides, I just want to give credit to Dr. Daniel Dirksen. He is an Associate Vice President for Rural Health Workforce Development Initiatives. All of you have the handouts. There's a lot of detail in here. I'm not going to cover all of it because I want to be respectful of your time, but I also do want just to make sure we give him credit for this information. So you can see here 1.9 million Arizona citizens are covered by Medicaid. So not Medicare, Medicaid. 55% of all babies are delivered under Medicaid. 60% of our nursing home care is covered by Medicaid. 1.4 million residents are enrolled in Medicare. And then we have about 250,000 dual eligibles. So this is some of the changes that we are seeing. And this is concerning for all of us. We know how important health insurance is to Arizonans, and we want to make sure people understand the potential changes. Dr. P, do you want to talk about this slide?
So, I think the concern that we all have is the loss of Medicaid enrollees, and we expect that there will be a significant loss by later this year. The Arizona Medicaid and the marketplace insurance will lose about 350,000 enrollees, perhaps over 500,000. And this will affect hospitals, clinics, doctors, nurses, but in particular rural hospitals. And I think Holy Cross is certainly a rural hospital. The concern that we have is that when patients don't have access to primary care, they will tend to go to the emergency room, and that's usually the norm, but they don't have primary care. So we expect the emergency department to see a significant increase in the number of patients who've lost insurance and cannot find or afford primary care, preventive care, or even specialty care.
Thank you. And that's really one of the most important reasons we want people to be able to maintain their health insurance, is so that they get care at the most appropriate place, which is primary care, specialty care, and not in the emergency department. Click twice? Okay. So we talked about the marketplace insurance. This is one of the things that will change very soon. So as of the end of this year, the enhanced advance premium tax credits, or those subsidies, are going to potentially be lost by 150,000 Arizonans. So that means the people who purchase their marketplace health insurance could no longer have those subsidies, and then they might choose not to maintain their health insurance. And what it means is premiums will double to triple, shortened open enrollment periods, and a 90% reduction in eligibility and enrollment navigator assistance, which is going to be very detrimental. I put this slide in here because we were very worried that this federal registry notice would require federally qualified health centers to no longer provide health services to non-qualified aliens. But fortunately, we live in Arizona. Our Attorney General filed a lawsuit, and that has a stay. So we can continue providing care to anybody in the community. Do you want to talk about this one?
Yeah, so the Department of Developmental Disability will no longer be assessing children with disabilities under 10 years of age, and that includes attendant care, and that pays for workers who help provide safe and healthy living conditions. Also include therapy that those children need. The issue with that is that families must now cover the cost of those services who were paid initially, but they will no longer receive compensation for that.
Yeah. And the difficult thing about this is parents will have to make choices between caring for their children without pay and not being able to work. And this is probably our most vulnerable population. This did not come about from the One Big Beautiful Bill. The state of Arizona made this decision about a year ago, and it goes into effect today. So very, very hard for our most vulnerable families. I wonder if the battery's still. There we go. Okay. Oops. No, it went too fast.
Questions, gentlemen?
So our local impact, we will continue to work with our patients to help them maintain their coverage, whether they're on Medicaid, Medicare, a marketplace plan. We, as a federally qualified health center, also have a sliding fee discount program. That is to ensure that anybody who has the eligible family size and income, we can provide them with free care if they meet the eligible requirements. And, anybody who needs care, I think the most important thing that underlines all the work that we do at Mariposa is that no one will be turned away for care, whether they have insurance or don't have insurance, whether they have the ability to pay or not. Our doors are always open to the community. We have payment plans, discount programs, and again, we will assist people who cannot afford care. We're also working with undue medical debt through a grant from Arizona State, which helps wipe away people's medical debt. We know that medical debt is the largest contributing reason to personal bankruptcy, and so we hope that we can help our patients with that. We're also going to keep working with our senior population to see if they are also not only eligible for Medicare, but also Medicaid. And again, we're here to care for everyone, regardless of their ability to pay, despite all these changes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Gentlemen?
Yeah, I have a few things. That one slide with the butterfly, the physical and mental wellness, I'm a firm believer in, especially after the COVID crisis, not just medical, but mental. I think that's incredibly important. I wanted to say thank you. That last slide on local impact, thank you for going above and beyond, in my opinion, to help everyone. And lastly, and I don't know if this is acceptable for me to say or not, but you've been taking care of me for a long time, and I say thank you to that.
Thank you.
That's a tough job.
I still have a ways to go. Well put.
Right, Mr. Manager? Just kidding, just kidding. Just kidding.
Just a quick comment. So, Dr. Perez, tell me if I'm exaggerating, but we know that basically having insurance saves lives, and not having insurance, basically people die, right? I don't know if I'm exaggerating, but I think that that's what happens. So, yeah, like, thank you for like not turning anyone, especially in this area, like trying to work with the community, with the payment plan and all those. So I just got to say like, thank you.
No, I mean, I don't think you're exaggerating. I think, people delay care when they don't have insurance. They're afraid of the cost of care. And there's so many things we can care for in the office. We see often people with undiagnosed high blood pressure, undiagnosed diabetes. We know that diabetes is frequently asymptomatic, meaning no symptoms. You see the doctor and your blood sugar is 250. So there are many conditions that we diagnose and have a consequence in the future. But people have issues, and they will not come unless they have insurance, and that delays care all the time. And I don't think you're exaggerating. I'll tell you a couple of stories, if I may. Back when Obamacare ACA was in 2010, within days, we saw two patients who came in late in the illness. One was a woman with a lump in the breast, and it was breast cancer, and she did well. The tumor was small, but we saw another one who had been losing weight for months, and he had liver cancer, and he died shortly after. Both of them did not come in until they had the marketplace from the ACA. So those are two examples, but we see that all the time. That's in the literature. We know that. Yeah.
The only thing I would also add is just the impact on people who do have insurance also. None of us are just self-interested people, but I assume most of us in the room do have health insurance. If hospitals, specialty clinics do not have the Medicaid reimbursement, Medicare reimbursements, the problem is that they're going to have to cut their services, and then that impacts everybody who does have insurance. And if we remember back in the pandemic, when the hospitals were full of people with COVID, if you happen to have some other issue that required urgent attention, a heart attack, a stroke, you often were delayed because the hospitals were so full of people with COVID. The same thing can happen when people delay their care, don't seek primary care, don't manage their care in an outpatient clinic. They go to the hospitals become overcrowded, and then people who have just kind of routine emergency issues that before could have been handled quickly, the hospitals are full, and now those issues are delayed. So there's a ripple effect. It doesn't just impact people who lose the coverage, it impacts all of us in the community. And that's why it's so important that all of us are really, really well educated on these issues.
So something else really quick. So is there something that the community could do, like, to be preparing for this? Like, I don't know, information? What can we do?
Yeah, I mean, we just pulled together a meeting last week because most of these changes don't go into effect until January 1st, 2027. Okay. The loss of the subsidies to the enhanced tax credits, the subsidies, those go away January 1st of 2026. But the other changes to the Medicaid expansion population, those go into effect January 1st, 2027. So what we are doing at Mariposa is really thinking about how do we provide community education? How do we make sure that we are working with our patients who are currently Access patients? Here in Arizona, it's called Access as opposed to Medicaid. How do we teach them how they can meet the community engagement requirement? So one of the changes is for Access recipients, they have to demonstrate that they are working, or they're in school, or they're doing some type of community activity, volunteer work, And so we're thinking about how can we work with our workforce development, because that can help Medicaid recipients demonstrate their 80 hours per month of that work requirement. So we have a lot of things that we are working on, and in the months and weeks to come, we will be working with our current Medicaid recipients, also educating more people about how you qualify for Medicaid, particularly our seniors, because our seniors who are on Medicare, many of them also might be dually eligible for Medicaid, and then they wouldn't have to pay copays. They might not have such high copays on their prescriptions, and so it benefits them, it benefits us to keep people on Medicaid. So we welcome your participation. Any ideas you have, places that we could be, where we can talk about how people can enroll in health insurance, but we are partners with you in this, and
Can we have a follow-up meeting after January when all
Yeah.
these take effect? That way we can strategically, as partners, work
Sure.
together?
yeah, the biggest impact will be January 2027, but we want to start preparing
Proactive.
now. So after January 1st of this 2026, we can meet and talk about what can we do over the course of the upcoming year to prepare the community to make sure people know about coverage and what their options are.
Wonderful. And I know you have a great system for reaching out and communicating with the public. But I also, and I'm hoping this can work, I don't know if I see Shannon, there she is. But anything that would fit within our realm of getting that information out to the public, I know that Shannon has a big following on our newsletter, and I think that would be, any way we can get the information out about what people have to do to prepare, rather than wait until the last minute. Being proactive is definitely beneficial. So I would suggest maybe, reaching out to Shannon,
That would be
along
great.
with whoever your communication specialist is.
Wonderful.
And I'll be contacting you soon. Like, I know we tried in the past, but we'll meet, so when I go out, I might, if you have some
Share
late, I
information.
can just go and spread it when I go and talk to people.
That would be
in District
wonderful.
1, which is big part of that population.
Yeah, and we really want people to know, as Dr. Pereira talked about, all the different services we provide. We don't think people in the community know the extensiveness of them, particularly new families who are moving into the area. They might not know about our pediatric services. We've recently hired new pediatricians, have lots of access for patients to come in and receive care, so.
Thank you.
I just want to real quickly thank Dr. Pereira, and I too believe in forming a good culture. I think you have, and it's shown because you've grown. And I also want to thank Dr. Williams. He's your partner in crime.
Yeah, he is.
Both of you bring that great culture to Santa Cruz County,
Thank you.
and we really appreciate it. Thank you.
Just a brief comment. Thank you for those comments. Want to emphasize the importance of primary care. It is essential for good health. I know we need specialists and we need cardiologists and orthopedic surgeons. We need all of that. But really the foundation is primary care. Those countries who have strong primary care networks do better in all health outcomes. So I encourage people to make sure they have the primary care doctor. I hope it's Mariposa. If it's not, make sure you get a good primary care doctor. And then I want to emphasize what Amy said. We have capacity in pediatrics. We have just outstanding pediatricians and that do the work in the hospital and our clinic. So for those of you who may not know, pediatrics is available. Thank you.
Just real quickly, we have a challenge coin for you two, for you to continue your success and your vigilance in healthcare.
Okay.
All right, thank you so much.
Okay, we have item 2, an introduction to Valley Assistance Services Program in Santa Cruz County by Christine Erickson. Executive Director, and Tony Bruno, Associate Director. Welcome.
Good evening. Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Board of Supervisors, and to the public. My name is Christine Erickson. I'm an RN. I've been an RN for 35 years. And I'm also the Executive Director at Valley Assistance Services. With me is Tony Bruno. He is the Associate Director. So we're going to kind of go back and forth a little bit, kind of like the last presentation. But we wanted to make sure that everybody's known kind of a little bit more about what we do. First of all, let me go into the history a little bit about Valley Assistance Services. Our legal name is Green Valley Assistance Services. We began in 1964, and we still continue today. We started as a children's program and worked very closely side by side with the Greater Green Valley Community Foundation. And then in 1981, we became incorporated. Most of that was social services. And then when I came on board in 2010, we added community health. So we are community health and social services. We have a service area of 2,700 square miles from Sarita down to Rio Rico and into the west into Arivaca.
So we've worked in Santa Cruz County since 2014 with an office or a satellite office at the Tubac Community Center, featured here.
I think it's a little bit.
There we go. And so we do provide case management, and I'll let Chris come back to talk about case management.
So in the different areas, what you think of social services, we do provide case management in rental assistance, emergency rental assistance, emergency utility assistance, and benefit advocacy as well. And that is, we are working with funders right now into the Santa Cruz area, into Rio Rico, and hopefully we have some funding coming on board to continue that. We have RN advocates, so we have those that go out to see and visit people in their homes. And then we also provide that advocacy that we just heard of, tying that person from their home into the physician's office. So we're kind of like a bridge, which is very nice with the RN advocates. The friendly phone calls is kind of back on the social service side. We do a lot of friendly phone calls to seniors in their home, and those might be the only phone calls that person receives. Friendly visits, we also do that, and we have about 219 volunteers, of which about half of those are active and they are vetted, which means that we do the background check and the screening, fingerprint clearance cards, so they can visit people in their homes. We do provide transportation, not just to doctor's appointments, but for grocery shopping, and also providing food boxes. We are one of the deliverers from the Green Valley and Amato Food Bank to provide those food boxes. We are also doing a lot of community education. We've been doing that since about 2010 in the area. Where our RNs will go out. We provide class-style education or a one-to-one education. And we also provide a lot of direct client assistance, one-to-one with case management. And here we have one-to-one with SNAP applications, which is food stamp applications. We are beginning a SNAP CAN program, which starts next month, since it's October already. It'll start in November. And SNAP CAN, again, you heard workforce workforce, a lot of SNAP, which is the food stamp application program that we're doing statewide. We are assisters statewide. We are now going to be a part of their workforce program as well, statewide. So we are kind of expanding that route. We do a lot of the in-between blood pressure checks. We do health education and lessons. You're going fast. Next one, please. We'll see where we are. Uh-oh, I jinxed it. I did it. Okay. All right. So we've done them not only in someone's home. We have gone to local libraries, our two-back satellite office as well, where we're going to start having more of a class-style health education. And then, oh, wow, that's really fast.
We have a way to do it manually from.
Maybe it's like, let's go back to that. That's the yeah, I kind of floated around there, didn't it? Oh, it's stuck. It was on the Ramada one. Yeah, the Ramada one, yeah. Yep. There we go. Yep, there we go. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
One more. Another one. One more. One more. One more. There it is.
I'm going to let you talk on this one.
I'm going to give this to you.
Okay, I'll try this.
So one of the new programs we have, and it's specifically for Santa Cruz County, is in partnering with several different funders, we have received a telemedicine van. The van is equipped to go out into the world. It's designed so we can go to some of the off-road places where people live, not necessarily on the paved roads. It has a built-in internet booster so that the vehicle can go to someone's house. You have a choice of actually interfacing with your doctor on the van if you choose, or off of the van in your home, because we have a portable telemedicine kit that we can take off, or the RN can take off. The RN will then either assist a senior with a visit with the doctor and help explain after the doctor is done, or provide other services that are necessary. Next slide. Oh, go ahead, next slide. That's a lot of words. So this is the van. It doesn't look like any other van on the outside. It does have a wheelchair lift. The funders have said when it's not being used for telemedicine, we can use that for transportation. Our transportation program is designed to actually, we can take a senior to a doctor visit. We can take a senior to run errands to the bank and other things. We can, I should say senior or disabled person. We can also utilize the van to bring food boxes and other things to low-income people. So it has multiple uses, but its primary use is telemedicine. Our other piece to our transportation program is our volunteer drivers can drive someone from a central point and take them to Tucson for follow-up or to see a specialist, and to provide more access for individuals to see their doctor, because as you heard earlier, going to a doctor is key to surviving. And our goal is to make this vehicle available and our volunteer vehicles available to get folks where they need to go, no matter where it is. As our board doesn't allow us to actually be in Nogales, anywhere but Nogales. And I apologize for that, quite frankly.
Sorry.
However, we are hoping that we can work with Mariposa Clinic and have a centralized meeting point, because Mariposa does have transportation, and we can take some of the load off of their transportation efforts, and we can move those patients to the doctor and to the dentist and to those various areas. Yep. So we also provide financial management and financial management education. We have staff who will teach that. We are partnering with Pima Federal Credit Union in order to conduct those lessons and using their lesson plans and curriculum, and can adjust those for individuals and individual needs. And that happens actually throughout everything we do, whether it's housing or transportation or any of the other programs we have. This is just pictures of some of our clients. And in telling a story, the one in the middle, her name, I'll go by her initials, BB. And BB is 86 years old. She is legally blind. She has mobility issues, and she is hard of hearing. She's got all three. We pick her up and we take her to her doctor's appointments. One of our volunteers does that. Her comment to us recently was, without this vehicle, I wouldn't be able to live. And she goes to the doctor regularly and is on a regular list. We also not only deliver food boxes, but we have a group of volunteers who deliver hot meals. That happens once a month. And they know their clients well. They take time. Sometimes it's almost a wellness check when they drop off the food. And then we have an intergenerational workforce development, and through SNAPCAN, we have a standardized workforce development program with folks coming in and learning about resume writing, learning about proper attire, that kind of thing. And then we do regular tabling events. I like to call them dog and pony shows. And so we're at the Tubac Historical Society, we're at the fire departments here in Rio Rico and other places. I'll let you go.
We do a lot of presentations, both in Santa Cruz County and Pima County. A couple of our things is Tony and I write grants and grants and grants. So a lot of our programs are funded by grants. Between us, we write, I think it's been over 75 grants in the last year, which is, 1 to 2 a week. And not all of those come through. We're down about 20-25%. They're very competitive. Again, you heard some of the people talk about grants and funding. Funding is being cut. Our funding for direct client assistance is being cut $94,000 starting now in October. So it's hard to, we see a lot of people coming in, especially for the emergency assistance. We have 150 right now on our wait list, 150 households on our wait list. And even we experienced just this last week, 94 calls in 1 hour for financial assistance. So it's growing, and we just hope we can continue to bring in that extra funding to help those that are really in need. And one way is we do fundraising events. So we just had a fundraising event here in Santa Cruz County, which was called Guac and Give, and that was September 12th, which was real fun at the Tubac Golf Resort. We have a hoedown on the Longhorn Grill January 10th, and Empty Bowls event, which has been, I think this is going to be the year 20th, for February 21st. And then we're looking at another event called Spring Bling for Santa Cruz programs. Again, we talked about volunteers. Our volunteers are in every one of our programs. We could not do what we do on less than 10 staff and help over 7,700 people a year without our volunteers. They make a world of difference. Just for instance, the drivers, we have about 64 drivers that drive in Pima County and Santa Cruz County, drove over 37,000 miles last year. So they do a lot. We're trying to help people get to their appointments and get to places that they need, but we couldn't do it without the volunteers. Oh, that's it. Okay. Anything you want to add?
I'd just like to say I'm a rural resident and I live in Amato, and I understand what it's like. And when groups come into a community and don't have people who live there, and we're not here to say we know better or we're going to take anything over. I think we've been here a while, and I live in Amato and have experienced rural life and have a mother who is actually in hospice right now. And so the stress of living in a rural situation and away from a lot of services is really, really tough for people, especially low-income people. And making it available at their door and at their home and meeting them where they live is a huge benefit to any community or any county. Thank you.
I just want to say thank you so much for letting us speak tonight. Most of our, we do a lot of presentations and we do a lot of things that are word of mouth, and that's how we're kind of known. Maybe someone knows a neighbor that might need someone and that type of thing. So thank you very much.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I have a few things. Please convey our thanks to not only you folks, but also your volunteers. Question, what is the cost to the folks that you help?
All of our programs are free.
I knew that. That's why I asked that
Except
question.
just one, where we do fill someone's med box in their home. And that's just covers the liability of that RN going out to fill and do their medication management. Here's one interesting story I'm going to add to that. You heard some stories going on before, but I came across someone with 32 prescriptions across the counter. And when you're taking that many things, things are going on. Sure. They're all interacting with others, and we've gotten that person down to 5, which is the national average. We see more than the national average. We're seeing about 15 on average per person.
And I knew that answer, and I asked it purposely because I think it's important to, for people to realize the great things that you're doing. I'm going to say to you what I said to the last group. Please reach out to Shannon if there's anything that you want, out to the community. And there's a reason for this presentation. Number one, all the great things you're doing. Number two, to say thank you. And number three, to let constituents in this county that you can service, let them know of the great things that you're doing. I personally went to this organization, 2 years ago, Tony?
Not long ago.
Okay. There's a lot of low-income families in this area, and many of them need backpacks. And although the school provides backpacks to many of the students that show up to the Blitz, not all of them show up because they can't to the Blitz. So I went and got, I don't know the number, 500 backpacks that were donated, not only the backpacks, but goodies inside of them, nutritious goodies inside of them. So that's why it's important that people know who you are and what you do. So thank you.
Thank you.
you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Does he smell like fish?
Mr. Chair, I don't think he does. I don't think he was close to a fish all day.
Okay, thank you. Just want to clarify. At this time, I'd like to entertain a motion to recess general session, move into flood control.
So moved.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any questions, discussion? Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Mr. Sanchez, how you doing, sir?
Good evening. Good evening, Chairman, members of the board. So I'd like to start out the flood control project update with rainfall. Compared to the published long-term historical Nogales area gauge total averages, rainfall in September was above normal. It was a wet month. Average September rainfall for the area is 2.23 inches, and we had about 3.5 inches in the Nogales area, so about 1.3 above. However, currently we're still in a extreme drought, and although some of the areas around the county have eased into a severe drought. And mainly that was due to September's monsoon and tropical rains. As far as the monsoon is concerned, period June 15th to September 30th, we did receive a little less than average. The average rainfall for the area is 10.4 inches, and we received about 9.3, so we're about 1 inch down. So that's not as bad as it was, beginning in the year. So that's a good thing. Moving on, the district received 225 flood hazard information sheet requests, flood reviews. 202 of those were in unincorporated Santa Cruz County, with 21 in Nogales and 2 in Patagonia. The district received 12 floodplain use permits in September, 9 in Santa Cruz County and 3 in Nogales. No site reviews, and we received 4 drainage complaints as a result of some of the rains that we received. Moving on to projects, Ephraim Canyon, Public Works Director Leonard Fontes has talked about that project this evening. Also, I have a little bit more here. A primary design has achieved the goals for the flood reduction in Ephraim Canyon, and the design stage will be commencing soon. Patagonia Regional Flood Control District project. There are no updates there. Potrero Creek Lomer, letter of map revision for Potrero Creek, which I think is associated with the Ruby Road Bridge as well. The county received FEMA's third submittal comments on 9/10, September 10th, and our consultant CMG responded to comments and resubmitted on September 22nd. And the project is waiting either additional comments or approval. Nogales downtown redevelopment, there's no update there. Santa Cruz County ordinance review and strategy, no update there. We do have a new project. The flood control district is in review of fee schedule. So our consultant has drafted a fee schedule to recover the costs of reviews both internally and externally. The review fee schedule is in a draft form and will be presented to you all, the board, with supporting documentation for consideration. The town of Patagonia did submit a flood and flow committee report, and that is attached to the project report as well. And there's no update from the city of Nogales. And that's it today.
Any estimate on getting back to the rains? How
Yes,
much
sir.
rain we got over the last 5 days?
Yes, sir. There are two days that kind of stick out, September 19 and also the 26th. So the flooding that we received from the 19th was mainly due to an intense type storm. So a very large amount of rain in a short period of time. Looking back at some of the radar, depending on where you were, around 2 inches fell. And at some point, it was falling, half an inch in 15 minutes. So that's in an area just north of Calle Cipres, near the Agua Fria area. And in that particular area, it's a smaller watershed. But because of the intensity of the storm and the location, that storm actually just centered over the top of those watersheds. And so we did have a lot of rain, a lot of flow as a result. And so we're looking at that. And as Supervisor Fanning has said, that our public works crew's been out clearing roads and those sort of things. The 26th, which was Friday, that was more of a regional type rain, and it was a result of subtropical moisture interacting with higher elevations. And what we saw was a storm that basically rained all over the upper watershed of the Santa Cruz River. So going from Parker Canyon over to the Canelos, down to Cananea, and over Santa Cruz, up through Nogales. So the entire area received an extensive amount of rain. In some areas, it was as much as 4 inches. And so as a result, we did have some pretty good flows within the Santa Cruz River. It wasn't bank to bank, but it was close. And I think Palo Parado was receiving, or indicating the gauge there, indicated around 7,000 CFS. So, it's not the 100-year storm on the Santa Cruz River, but the one that landed in the Mercado area was close to it for the 1-hour storm. So, and we've received storms like that around the county, during the monsoon. So, although it doesn't reflect here in the gauge here in Nogales, along the Nogales Wash, there were some other areas around. Where I live out in eastern Santa Cruz County, we didn't receive nearly as much rain. So, did I answer your question?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Thank you.
I have a question.
Yes, sir.
Back in the day, and I may be way off on this, but I recollect that end of June, all of July into August was our typical monsoon. Maybe I'm wrong, but I don't know that I've ever seen it or remember it being August, not so much in June, in my opinion, not so
Right.
much in June, not so much in July, but in August and especially September.
Okay.
What are your thoughts on that? Is that something that we're going to perhaps see in the future? Are we seeing a change, or am I way off?
No, I don't think you're way off. I think you're, seeing things like they're happening. The National Weather Service decided that they were going to basically frame a period for the monsoon, which is starts in June, June 15th, and goes to September 30. Okay, so that's this period that's kind of arbitrary. Back in the day, it was when there was 54 degrees dew point in Phoenix for a period of 3 or 4 days. So that was like kind of like a technical way of looking at the monsoon. But what it looked like for us, and perhaps you Supervisor Fanning, was right around right around July 4th, we started getting some rain, that sort of thing. So this year's was funny. We got a tropical storm that came up the coast on June 1st. So we don't normally get rain in June, especially the early part of June. So that was different. And then we had this extensive dry period that went past right around July 4th, maybe I think it's the next weekend after, we started to see some more rain, but not normal amounts. So in July and August, we were below by 1 inch on both those months. September is usually kind of like the end of the monsoon, and usually it goes out with a bang. usually it's a tropical storm or something like that around Labor Day. And that's when all the white-winged doves would head back to Mexico. So anyways, yeah.
Thank you.
So hopefully we'll just figure out the hydrology and going forward, and the monsoon will still be with us for a while.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Alan.
Anyone, any questions from the public? Okay, thanks. And at this time, I'd like to entertain a motion to adjourn flood control and move into item H, action items.
I move to approve the action items as presented.
No.
Action items.
To move into,
Oh,
to move out of the flood control and move into the action items.
So moved.
second.
Have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. We are now in action items. At this time, I'd like to go to action item 1, discussion possible action to approve and certify the canvass of September 23rd, 2025 special general election to Congressional District 7 official results. I'd like to entertain a motion.
So move.
Second.
I have a motion and a second, and I personally would like to congratulate Aelita for her victory, Ms. Grijalva. And
I'd like to once again thank the folks who are responsible for making sure that our county is top notch when it comes to elections. Alma, that's that is a testament to your hard work. Thank you.
thank you. Thank you. Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Item 2, discussion, possible action to approve and adopt proclamation declaring the month of October as A, Domestic Violence Awareness Month, and B, Santa Cruz County Arts Month. I believe Mr. Davis is going to read the Domestic Violence Awareness proclamation.
Okay. So I'm gonna need some light. I'm getting old.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
Proclamation Domestic Violence Awareness Month, October 2025. Whereas domestic violence is prevalent in every community and affects all people regardless of age, socioeconomic status, sexual orientation, gender, race, religion, or nationality. And whereas domestic violence can result in physical injury, psychological trauma, and even death. The devastating consequences of domestic violence can cross generations and last a lifetime. And whereas in 1998, Congress passed Public Law 101-112, officially designated October National Domestic Violence Awareness Month, and such legislation has been passed each year since. And whereas approximately 20 people in the United States are victims of intimate partner violence every minute. And whereas nationwide, an average of 3 women and 1 man are killed by current or former intimate partners every day. And whereas on a typical day, there are more than 20,000 phone calls placed to domestic violence hotlines nationwide. And whereas nearly 20 people per minute and physically abused by the inmate partner, and 72% of all murder, suicide involve an intimate partner. And whereas approximately 20% of children under the age of 18 are exposed to domestic violence in their lifetime, and 1 in 15 children are exposed to intimate partner violence each year. And whereas men exposed to domestic violence as children and 4 times more likely than other men to perpetrate domestic violence as adults. And whereas in 2024, the Santa Cruz County Attorney's Office Victim Service Division provided services to more than 200 victims of domestic violence. And whereas we are determined to respond to crime and violence by helping victims find not only support, recovery, and justice, but also a sense of hope for their future. And whereas Domestic Violence Awareness Month provide an opportunity to recommit to ensuring that we are providing accessible, appropriate, and informed service to victims of intimate partner violence. And whereas it is believed that up to 70% of domestic violence incidents are not reported to law enforcement, and whereas it is time to stop the silence and end the violence. Now, therefore, be it resolved that Santa Cruz County Board of Supervisors do hereby proclaim that month of October 2025 as Domestic Violence Awareness Month, and reaffirm that county's commitment to creating a victim service and criminal justice response to assist victims of intimate partner violence during Domestic Violence Awareness Month and throughout the year, and express our sincere gratitude and appreciation for those community members, victim services providers, and criminal justice professionals who are committed to improving our response to victims and intimate partner violence so that they may find relevant assistance, support, justice, and peace. Signed and sealed this first day of October 2025.
Move to approve?
Yeah, I move to approve.
Okay.
Second.
Move in a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries unanimously. Thank you, sir. And item B?
Sure. Proclamation Santa Cruz County Arts Month to raise awareness of and build public support for the importance of the arts in Santa Cruz County. Excuse me. Whereas the arts celebrate the human experience through creative expression and communities unite through cultural and artistic experiences, and whereas research shows that creating and experiencing art can lower stress and anxiety. It also has the ability to help create and strengthen a sense of place. The arts can improve academic achievement, improve memory, enhance critical thinking skills, build confidence and self-esteem, and create stronger cultural and personal connections within communities. And whereas the goal of Santa Cruz County School Superintendent Maya M. Donnelly in 2025 is to raise community awareness about the various arts organizations in Santa Cruz County and the many programs they offer for all ages. The Santa Cruz County School Superintendent's Office will highlight these inspiring events in the month of October and will host various programs and events to celebrate the great work of our students and local professional artists. And whereas Santa Cruz County Arts Month is sponsored by the Santa Cruz County School Superintendent's Office, Young Audience Raise, Morley Arts District, Santa Cruz Advocates for the Arts, La Línea Art Studio on Morley, Whitner Museum, GOK, Hilltop Gallery, Tubac Center of the Arts, Santa Cruz Foundation for the Performing Arts, Holler and Saunders Ltd., Southern Arizona Film Society, Cultural Arts Committee of Nogales and Mexican Consulate, Santa Cruz County, City of Nogales, Nogales Unified School District Number 1, Santa Cruz Valley Unified School District Number 35, Patagonia Public Schools Districts 6 and 20, Sonoyta Elementary District Number 25, Santa Cruz Elementary District Number 28, charter schools and private schools. And whereas during the month of October, informative messages will be communicated to the community via social media, radio, and signage concerning the arts in Santa Cruz County with themes including the Santa Cruz County Schools Superintendent's Office promoting Young Audience RAISE RAISE program, Morley Arts District website events calendar, local arts organizations, art ambassador awards, mural map walk, art exhibitions, educational forums, mural projects and workshops, and artist gatherings. And now therefore, the Santa Cruz County, Arizona Board of Supervisors does hereby proclaim the month of October 2025 as Santa Cruz County Arts Month, passed and adopted this first day of October 2025. I'd like to make a motion to accept and approve this proclamation.
Okay.
Second.
And a second. Any questions, discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries. Thank you, sir. Item 3, discussion, possible action to approve contribution agreement with South 32 Hermosa, Inc. for development of a strategic workforce plan in a reimbursable amount not to exceed $150,000. Mr. Young.
Good evening, Chair Molera, members of the board, Supervisor Fanning, Supervisor Davis. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak towards this. Before I go through this, I just want to address some of the things that were mentioned earlier. I do want to clarify that this position will go through the RFP process, our procurement process, which we have with finance. So I want to make sure that it will be a transparent process when we choose who does this strategic plan. Also, I want to give a little bit of history of why we're passing this. I'm going to talk a little bit about who's on this executive council, but the reason why it's going through the county is for transparency, and also we're the ones with the MOU with South 32, which allows us to do this. But this is a community project, and this is a project that is guided not by South 32. It's a project that's guided by the committee members that I'm about to mention and the community, okay? I'm just going to read this now. So the first item on the agenda is the approval of the Workforce Strategic Plan. This plan is being developed with the facilitation by South 32 and the Workforce Development Executive Committee, which is formed of Nogales Unified School District Superintendent Angel Canto, Santa Cruz Valley Unified School District Superintendent David Verdugo, Patagonia Schools Superintendent Kenny Hayes, Santa Cruz County School Superintendent Maya Donnelly. Oh, she took off, didn't she? Santa Cruz County Provisional Community College District CEO Greg Lucero, who spoke earlier towards this, and he actually spoke about a lot of the details, so I'm not going to go into that right now, and myself. And the goal is to align regional economic needs with workforce skills and to create clear pathways for training, reskilling, and long-term employment. This is something that government entities and entities like the Chamber of Commerce have wanted for a very long time. Within our county, we have a tendency sometimes to work in silos, and this is a plan that initiated kind of parallel with WIOA and then with the community college, and then we came together and realized, why are we working separately when we can't work, when we can work together? And so that's why we're doing this. We have to have a plan. This is separate from South 32. South 32 does not want to be part of this plan. They've made that clear. We appreciate the fact that they're funding it, but this is for Santa Cruz County, and this is for us to operate, to be sustainable without the mine. Okay, we're looking at industries that are not South 32. This is something that we need that's independent, and they're in agreement with it. So I just wanted to clarify some of that stuff before I answer any questions you have.
You answered one, and I just want to make sure that the workforce development and the strategic workforce plan does not just focus on the needs of South 32, correct?
Correct. It does not. In fact, it obviously, I imagine at some point South 32 will be part of it because they will be a large part of our community, but it is looking at all industries, all future industries that we have, and also ones that we have right now, and what we need to prepare so that, Supervisor Davis is always preaching, we want our youth to stay here, and we got to train them. And that's for all industries.
Okay. And then my second, I have no strings attached. I want to make sure there's no strings attached, and this is, with South 32 dictating what happens and how this is going to move forward.
South 32 has made it very clear that they want this executive committee that I mentioned to be the leaders of this. They do not want to lead this. They are facilitating this to happen, and it's going through the county because we have the mechanism to approve the funding. I think it was referred to the reporting mechanism, and what that is I believe what I'll speak towards is anytime one entity gives another entity funding, you better make sure that that money is being used for what it's supposed to, right? And that's what that is, but in no way will South 32 dictate this plan.
Okay, and lastly, I want to reiterate what Jay said earlier. Job description, bid, you already mentioned that's going to happen.
Yes, it'll be the public RFP process.
I want to also continue to harp on transparency throughout this entire process.
Exactly. And I'm going to tell you something that happened in the meeting when we finally solidified the scope of work. I was asked, how are we going to do this exactly if we go through the county? And it was unanimous. Everybody wanted to go through a public RFP process because they wanted to be as transparent as possible.
Thank you. Any other questions?
I just have a quick question. So, and correct me if I'm wrong, so according to this MOUs, they started like 2020, correct?
So
is there any way that you can provide like some history on it, or like
So
when
I
it
can probably
started?
provide a little bit of it.
Okay.
Obviously, the MOUs are done between the attorneys, and I wasn't here for it. But the original MOU, from what I understand, was created so that South 32 and the county could work together on different projects. And so this is using that mechanism to be able to fund these projects. I don't know if that's what you're looking for as far as the history of it.
Okay, so when you see all this information, do you feel like good with it, or would you want somebody else to be part of it? How do you feel about it? Like,
I'm extremely excited about this. I see Olivia nodding her head. This is something that's had to happen for a very long time, along with the next one that you're going to look at. Like I said, we've been operating, and I don't think this is controversial that I say it, we've been operating in silos. And so this gives the community, the county, one direction, working together. You saw the people that I mentioned. Obviously, when we go to the next one, you'll see the other people that I mentioned. And this is, I really look at it as an opportunity for the different entities in our county that sometimes are divided or don't work together. This is a huge opportunity for us to work together. City of Nogales, Town of Patagonia, Tubac, Rio Rico. This is for everybody. This isn't just, an isolated thing. This is the plan that we're going to create so that other entities can base their projects off of.
So lastly, I'm just gonna say, going along with Mr. Fenton, like transparency will be key, right? As I don't know how often or how soon some of this information could be out in the public. Is there a plan, or?
Well, the first process, if you decide to approve it, is to do the RFP, and that's a public, it's in the newspaper, and so that process is very public. So that's the first step, if that's what you're talking about, yeah.
Thank you.
Mr. Chair, just to give you a background on the MOU. So the board realized real quickly that we didn't have the capacity to deal with some of the complex issues that an industry like South 32 was going to bring to our community. So this MOU was drafted for professional services. We used it in the past for attorneys, engineers, and at this time, we're using this as a vehicle to get this plan underway.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Chris. At this time, I'd like to entertain a motion.
Point of information. Am I to understand that this is to bring in other industry into our county?
Absolutely.
Want to say something?
I can speak towards that with the next one, but yes.
At this time, I'd like to entertain a motion.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any questions, discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Hold on, yeah, I do. The folks that you mentioned, in my opinion, being in the education sector, highly respected. So that name, those names, for me, solidified the fact that I know they're going to do what's best for the kids, for the young adults, for the adults, and moving forward with this.
And for the record, correct me if I'm wrong, everyone was developing their own. And people said, hey, why is everyone doing their own? Why don't we jointly do this together in a big group?
That is exactly what happened, and what's been happening for many years. And so the objective of this is that we have one centralized plan for our county, so that when people go for funding, when industries come in, when different things are happening on the economic front, there's a plan and that you can base the things off of. And like I said, also, it's an opportunity for everybody to come together and work together as one, as a county.
And I just want to reiterate, data-driven. I think that's so incredibly important. I go back to my statement, without data, you're just another person with an opinion.
Agreed.
Yes, sir.
So when the consultant is selected and does their work, definitely they'll be involving business people, for sure.
Okay.
That's important.
Gentlemen, any other questions?
So no, so for this section, you said that, who was part of it? What, like,
So it's just to summarize, it's
Uh-huh.
3 superintendents of the county that have high schools. Maya Donnelly, the county school superintendent. Greg Lucero, the CEO from the Santa Cruz County Provisional Community College District, and myself.
Thank you.
Yes.
We have a 7.4% right now of unemployment as of July, when July was the highest on the produce industry. So we need to contemplate and include that, maybe is some kind of a training, or why are we data, like you said, Mr. Fanning, very important. Why do we have a 7.5% of unemployment? So we need to target that sector and see why they are unemployed. So just a recommendation.
Thank you.
And I'm representing over 375 members, businesses in Nogales, and we're growing, and we know that they're struggling by hiring. So the workforce is kind of like very important to grow up and have a better economic development in the county.
Thank you, Olivia.
Thank you.
So just to answer that, yes, it will. It will include that, and obviously you're going to be a very big part of this also.
I would also ask to back Chamber of Commerce.
Okay.
Thank you.
Well, I don't know if I have an answer to that. I will say that in this instance, we were able to bring everybody together, and that's the main point of this. And South 32 is not leading this, and they'll play a very little role in this. So as far as where the funding comes, if we could have done it without it, I know the county did not have it in their budget this year, if that's your question.
Okay. I'll call for the question. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Item 4, discussion possible action to approve contribution agreement with South 32 Hermosa, Inc. to provide funding for economic development specialist in a reimbursable amount of up to $93,600 for year 1, $70,200 for year 2, and $46,800 for year 3.
Once again, Chairman Molera, Supervisor Davis, Supervisor Fanning, thank you for the opportunity to speak. It's very similar to the one we just spoke to. It's going to be a public RFP process. I'll read. The second action is the agreement to bring an economic development consultant. This role is designed to help coordinate and implement strategic initiatives across the county. The consultant will be responsible to county management and work with the Port Authority, the Chamber of Commerce's, SEGO, and all neighbors, municipalities, including Nogales, Rio Rico, Patagonia, Tubac, Sonoita, Elgin, and our unincorporated areas. The objective of working together is to keep everyone in our community aligned on business development priorities and best practices. Once again, we're extremely excited about this because this is something that has been talked about for a few years also. Is it going to be a joint venture between the city, the Port Authority, how is this gonna happen? And so now it's going to happen. Like I said previously, it will be owned by the county, but this is for everybody in the community. There will be a council created that's an advisory council to this person, which will include all the entities that I mentioned plus more. And once again, we need to do things like create business profiles in our community. We need to help with representation with the Arizona Commerce Authority and different entities, and this person is going to be focused on that. One thing I will mention, and this maybe makes some people happy, in the fact that if you notice, it says 120 hours, right? That's the max, okay, for the month. But every year, it goes down a little bit. So the plan is not that the person works less for us. The plan is that the county starts to pick up the bill for that exact reason, so that we are not dependent on South 32. So that's why it's structured like that. This is independent from South 32. This isn't for South 32, although we appreciate them paying for this.
Questions, gentlemen?
Yeah, once again, I'm going to ask the same question. And you just answered the first one, not contingent and focused on South 32. No strings attached. Okay, this is, I think it's important that one of the comments you made, everyone in the county. I think that's incredibly important, which means this has to stay transparent. And people have to know what's going on throughout the entire county. That's critical.
Agreed. And just to that, I mean, if anybody has any questions or anything, my office is right over there. Please come talk to me. I already have meetings scheduled with some of you. So please feel free to come talk to me about this. We welcome all ideas. Everybody's input is important and deserves to be listened to.
Thank you, sir. And yes, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm sorry. Yes, ma'am. Can you walk up and please state your name for the record?
Wendy Islas, Rio Rico. I'm hearing the term that South 32 doesn't have any strings attached, but they can simply request in writing for a report and receive it within 14 days. So to me, those are strings. And why not reduce or eliminate that fact? And why not just budget for this ourselves? We've created positions. We've done it last year. We did it. I've already done a lot of research. I just named off several during my call to the public. So I know that we had the funding, even in the midst of losing $38 million. So I just say we need to acknowledge that there are strings attached. Thank you.
So the only thing I could say to that, I appreciate your concern. I understand it, and I understand the concern for transparency. And I can see how it reads, it may appear that way, but there are no strings attached. They do not lead this, nor do they want to lead this. This is for our community. This is something that our community has wanted for a very long time, and frankly, we need it. It's going to be owned by the county, but it's going to be ran by a group of leaders in the community that are going to make the decisions and help with this consultant.
Thank you, sir.
I would just ask that you keep the dialogue with Wendy.
Always, of course, of course.
At this time, I'd like to entertain a motion.
I have a quick question. So I noticed that as the second year, the contribution for this position is going to be dropping, right? And then you said the county is going to be adding more money, right? Is it only
so the first amount is going to maintain.
Yes.
But the county contribution is going to be the difference between what they're funding and what's in the first year.
And is this contribution only made by the county, or is it
Yes,
the
it's
county,
only
town of Patagonia, and just
right now it's only made by the county, yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you for your clarification. Good question. At this time, I'd like to entertain a motion.
So move.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any other questions, discussion? Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Mr. Young.
Thanks, Chris.
At this time, I'd like to entertain a motion to recess general session, move into jail district.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. Any discussion, questions? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. We are now in item I, Jail District, discussion possible action to authorize to fill vacant detention booking clerk position. It's budgeted, right?
Mr. Chairman, members of the board, that is budgeted for.
Okay.
And the shutdown has absolutely nothing to do with that or affect that in any negative way.
Mr. Chairman and members of the board, it does not. This is jail district related only, and it's by jail district funding.
Thank you. I wanted to make sure folks knew that.
Okay, at this time, I'd like to entertain a motion.
So move.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any questions, discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries unanimously. And at this time, I'd like to entertain a motion to adjourn jail district and move into item J, Board of Equalization.
So moved.
Second.
A motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, item 1, discussion possible action to approve the tax year 2026 notice evaluation appeal decisions as presented by the Board of Equalization. Mr. Ramos, there's 2 items, I believe?
Yes, sir. There were 2 items that were heard last week at the Board of Equalization.
Okay,
So just pending the decision that you guys approve what they recommended.
perfect. Thank you. At this time, I'd like to entertain a motion.
So move.
Second.
A motion and a second. Any questions, discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries unanimously. At this time, I'd like to adjourn Board of Equalization and move back into general session, item K.
So moved, excuse me.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Item K, consent agenda, items 1 through 8.
Move to approve.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any questions? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries unanimously. I believe we're down to item L.
I move to adjourn the
Adjournment.
meeting.
I have a motion to adjourn
Second.
and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
We're now adjourned.
Thank you for your patience, folks.
Thank you.